sentence you speak either builds your strength or quietly takes it away. It's not about sounding smart or polished. It's about what your language reveals about your mind. The moment you speak, you show the world how you see yourself. You show how much control you truly have over your emotions. Stoicism teaches that strength begins in the mind, but it flows through the tongue. Words are not random sounds. They are reflections of your inner state. When your speech is calm, clear, and steady, it shows that your thoughts are grounded. But when your words are scattered, filled with doubt or fear, it shows that your mind has lost its center. This is why the Stoics often spoke very little, not because they were cold or detached, but because they understood something deeper. Every word you say carries a piece of your energy. And when you throw words carelessly, you drain that energy. You give away your calmness, your self-respect, your peace. There are certain words that might sound harmless, but the moment they leave your lips, they weaken your presence. They make you seem smaller, less certain, more reactive. They signal that your emotions are leading your thoughts instead of your wisdom guiding your emotions. Today, let's uncover the power behind language. Let's look deeper into how a few simple words can shift how you see yourself and how others feel your energy. This is not about pretending to be strong. It's about learning to protect your strength. It's about becoming aware of how you shape your life through the smallest expressions. When you begin to speak with awareness, you begin to think with power. When you choose your words with purpose, you begin to lead your emotions instead of being led by them. Think about how often words slip out of your mouth without any real thought. You say things to fill silence, to soften tension, to make others feel comfortable. But sometimes those same words betray your inner uncertainty. You apologize when there's no need. You say you can't, when what you really mean is, I haven't tried yet. You say maybe, when your heart already knows the answer. Each of those moments seems small, but every time you give your words away carelessly, you weaken your own foundation. Stoicism reminds you to guard your thoughts like sacred space, and that means guarding your words too. It's not about speaking less. It's about speaking deliberately. It's about pausing before you respond, feeling the space between your thought and your speech, and asking yourself, is this word rooted in strength or in fear? That one pause can change everything. It can turn an emotional reaction into a moment of peace. It can turn confusion into clarity. It can turn weakness into self-respect. The person who masters that pause masters themselves. There's a reason this message comes to you right now, because your words are shaping your reality, even in this moment. You might be trying to become stronger, calmer, more at peace, but as long as your words betray doubt, you'll keep feeding the very patterns you're trying to escape. The Stoics knew that strength was not found in power over others, but in power over oneself. They believed the tongue was a mirror of the soul. If your words are calm, your soul is calm. If your words are restless, your soul is restless. We've all felt that heaviness that comes from saying too much, or saying the wrong thing, or speaking when silence would have said more. The guilt, the regret, the feeling that you've given away a piece of your power. But the truth is, you can change that starting now. You can begin to rebuild your strength one sentence at a time. You can choose words that carry weight instead of noise. You can choose speech that heals rather than harm. You can choose calmness over reaction. This is where inner mastery begins, not with grand gestures, but with quiet awareness in the simplest moments. Every strong person you've ever met had one thing in common. Their words were steady. They didn't rush. They didn't explain too much. They didn't try to prove anything, because they had nothing to prove. That's the essence of Stoicism, to be unshaken by the noise of the world, to stay centered even when the world pulls you in every direction. When your words come from that place, they hold power. They command respect without effort. They show strength without force. You don't need to fight for respect. You earn it in silence, and you express it through the discipline of your speech. The next time you speak, slow down. Let your words move like water, calm, clear, and sure. You don't need to be loud to be strong. You don't need to be clever to be wise. Strength doesn't come from how much you say, but from the peace that lives beneath what you say. Sometimes people use weak words because they want to be liked, accepted, or understood. It's human to crave that connection. But when your peace depends on others' approval, you lose yourself in the process. Stoicism teaches that your worth is not measured by how others see you. It's measured by how steady you remain when others don't. You don't have to defend yourself through words. You don't have to over-explain. The truth doesn't need convincing. It only needs quiet confidence. So if your words have been restless, unsure, or easily shaken, this is not a failure. It's a sign you are growing aware. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Every moment you become conscious of your speech is a moment you reclaim your strength. You begin to live as the Stoics did, with calm authority over your mind, your tongue, and your energy. When the day feels heavy and you catch yourself speaking out of fear, pause. Place your hand on your chest, take a deep breath, and ask, what am I really trying to express? That one question can reveal everything. It can show you whether your words come from your heart or from your insecurity. You will start noticing how your body feels when your words are aligned with truth. Your breath deepens, your mind clears, your heart feels steady. That is the body's way of showing you you're in harmony with yourself. Strength isn't loud. It's silent. It's in the way you choose not to react when provoked. It's in the way you choose not to speak when words would only make things worse. It's in the way you remain still when others lose their balance. And that silence, that control, becomes your quiet language of power. There are moments in life when silence says more than 1,000 words. Stoicism teaches that silence is not emptiness, it is presence. It is the calm between thoughts. It is the space where wisdom speaks softly. When you learn to honor that space, you start to hear your inner voice more clearly. And from that clarity, your words become pure. They become intentional. They carry truth instead of emotion. So take a moment right now to breathe. Feel how the air enters your body. Notice how even your breath has rhythm and discipline. Your words can follow the same pattern, steady, grounded, calm. Each breath you take before you speak is an act of wisdom. It's you saying, I choose peace over reaction. Your strength isn't in arguing, explaining, or proving. It's in restraint. It's in knowing that you control your words and your words control your world. As Epictetus once taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. That's the secret. Real strength listens first, speaks second. Every word is a choice. Every silence is a statement. Choose the ones that make you stronger, because your words can either build your peace or destroy it, and the wise know which ones to let go. And when you learn to let go of weak words, you begin to rise, not with pride, not with noise, but with quiet strength that cannot be shaken, because true power doesn't announce itself, it simply is. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize how much their own words have shaped their journey. There's a quiet awakening when you start to notice that the way you speak to yourself and to others reveals what's truly happening inside you. You begin to see how your speech is often a mirror of your emotions, how certain words slip out when your heart feels uncertain, or when your confidence trembles just a little. It's in those moments of awareness that growth begins. There was once a time when you might have said things just to fill the silence, to please others, to sound agreeable even when your heart wasn't aligned with what you were saying. Maybe you spoke words that didn't come from strength, but from a need to be accepted. It's not weakness, it's human nature. We all do it at some point. But the more aware you become of this pattern, the more you realize that every word spoken without clarity becomes a seed of confusion within you. And every word spoken with awareness becomes a seed of strength. There's a quiet moment that always stands out, a conversation where you wished you had stayed silent. Maybe it was when someone questioned your worth and you felt the urge to defend yourself. Maybe it was when you tried to explain too much, hoping to be understood. You walk away from such moments feeling drained, because somewhere deep down, you know that strength doesn't come from defending, it comes from detachment. The Stoics understood this perfectly. They knew that emotions are waves, and if you let every wave control your tongue, you'll drown in words that don't serve you. But when you anchor your words in calm awareness, you ride the wave without losing yourself in it. That's the beauty of mastering speech through Stoicism. It's not about speaking less or silencing yourself. It's about speaking with intention. Marcus Aurelius once reflected that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In the same way, your voice becomes dyed with the tone of your mind. If your mind is chaotic, your words will sound uncertain. If your mind is grounded, your words will feel steady and real. This principle, control what you can and release what you can't, lies at the heart of Stoic wisdom. Your thoughts, your reactions, your words, these are yours to shape. The way others interpret them, the way they respond, that's not within your control. The moment you grasp this truth, something soft but powerful shifts inside you. You stop speaking to win and start speaking to express truth. You stop arguing to prove and start communicating to understand. And that's where strength lives, in calm honesty, not in control. When your mind becomes still, your words begin to carry weight. People can feel it. There's a kind of peace that radiates from someone who isn't trying to dominate the conversation, but simply speaks from clarity. That's the kind of strength Stoicism teaches. It's not aggressive, not cold, but balanced, rooted in understanding that language is an extension of thought, and thought is an extension of awareness. There are words that weaken this awareness. They slip into your speech when you forget who you are, when you doubt your own power. You might not even notice them because they sound normal, but beneath them lies insecurity. Words like sorry when you haven't done wrong, I can't when you're afraid to fail, maybe when you're unsure of your worth, I don't know when you're avoiding responsibility. Each of these words chips away at your composure, little by little, until you forget how strong you actually are. But when you begin to observe your language through the eyes of a Stoic, you start hearing differently. You notice what each word reveals about your state of mind. You hear when your voice softens out of fear, or when you rush to fill silence out of discomfort. That awareness is power. It's the first step to transforming how you speak and how you live. Because when you change your language, you begin to change the way your mind responds to the world. Let's explore these 6 words, not to judge, but to understand. Each one is a window into the mind. Each one shows where strength leaks through the cracks of habit. These aren't words to be banned or feared, but to be understood, transformed, and replaced with stronger alternatives. Because the goal isn't to sound strong, it's to be strong from within, so your words naturally reflect that truth. The first weak word is sorry, used not in kindness, but in fear. When spoken too often, it turns into a reflex that erases self-respect. There's nothing wrong with apologizing when harm is done, but when you say sorry for existing, for having opinions, or for taking up space, you lower your energy. The Stoic approach would be to replace that reflex with awareness. Instead of saying sorry for being late, say thank you for waiting. Gratitude restores balance.
Apology without reason creates dependence. The second is maybe, a word that hides truth behind uncertainty. Maybe is a way to avoid choosing, a shield for fear of commitment. It's softer than no, but weaker than yes. The Stoics taught decisiveness, not as harshness, but as clarity. When you say yes, mean it. When you say no, stand by it. A decisive word brings peace to the mind because it ends the battle of indecision.
The third is I can't. These two words are the chains that bind potential. Most of the time, I can't doesn't mean impossible. It means I fear discomfort. The Stoic answer is not denial, but effort. Replace I can't with I will learn. Replace limitation with motion. The body and mind follow intention. When you shift the phrase, your entire energy shifts with it. The fourth weak phrase is I don't know. Not in the sense of honesty, but in avoidance. Sometimes people say it to escape responsibility, to not look foolish, to avoid deeper thought. But the Stoic path invites courage, the courage to explore uncertainty. When you don't know, say, I will find out. That one small change turns confusion into curiosity, and curiosity is the path to wisdom. The fifth is, it's fine, the phrase of suppression. It's the language of pretending everything is okay when it's not. The Stoic view of peace isn't pretending, it's acceptance. Saying it's fine when you're hurting only deepens the wound. The stronger alternative is, this is challenging, but I'm working through it. That's calm honesty. It allows space for healing without surrendering to pain. And the sixth is, I'll try. On the surface, it sounds positive, but often it's an escape from full commitment. I'll try leaves the door open for failure before effort even begins. Stoicism teaches full engagement with the present. If something is worth doing, do it with all your heart. Replace I'll try with I will. That decision turns hesitation into motion. Each of these 6 words seems small, but they shape how your mind approaches life. The Stoic way is to bring awareness to them, not guilt. When you catch yourself saying them, pause. Feel the intention behind the word. Ask, am I speaking from strength or fear? That pause is your moment of awakening. As you grow more aware, you'll begin to notice the subtle connection between your thoughts, your body, and your words. Weak language creates tension in the body. Your shoulders tighten, your breath shortens, your energy drops. Strong language, on the other hand, releases you. Your posture lifts, your breath deepens, your presence feels steady. The mind-body connection becomes a living experience, not just a theory. Each day offers an opportunity to practice this. Choose one of these 6 words to replace. Journal about how often it shows up in your speech. Notice when it appears and what emotion triggers it. You'll begin to see patterns where you doubt yourself, where you seek validation, where you give away your power. That awareness is freedom. In Stoic philosophy, mastery begins with observation. The moment you become conscious of your language, you begin to shift your reality. Words stop being habits and start becoming tools. You no longer speak to please the world, you speak to stay true to your principles. And through that discipline, peace begins to unfold in every part of your life. As you begin to reflect more deeply on your own language, something powerful starts to unfold within you. You start noticing that your speech is not separate from your thoughts, and your thoughts are not separate from your emotions. They are all part of one connected stream. When your words are restless, your thoughts become restless. When your thoughts are restless, your body feels uneasy. But when you bring calmness into your words, your whole being responds with stillness. That is the beauty of awareness. It turns the smallest act, even the way you speak, into an expression of your inner strength. There's a calm that comes from being deliberate with your language. It's not forced, it's natural. It feels like breathing more slowly after a storm. Stoicism teaches that peace is not found in control, but in alignment. The more aligned your speech is with your truth, the more peaceful your mind becomes. When your words are honest but kind, simple but steady, you'll notice how much lighter your body feels. Your heart softens, your breath becomes more grounded. You start to realize that strength is not the absence of emotion, it's the ability to stay balanced while emotion passes through you. You can turn this understanding into a practice. Each morning, before speaking to anyone, take a quiet moment to breathe and ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want my words to carry today? It's a simple question, but it recenters your awareness. Then, throughout the day, listen to how you speak. Notice when your tone changes. Notice when your words come from patience and when they come from frustration. There's no need to judge yourself. Just notice. That gentle awareness transforms your speech more effectively than any forced effort. One of the most powerful exercises you can do is what the Stoics called self-observation. It's not about silence, but about presence. Throughout your day, pause before responding, even for a heartbeat. Let that pause remind you that you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. You are not your reaction, you are the calm observing it. And from that calm, your words will naturally become wiser, softer, more deliberate. There's another exercise you can use, a form of journaling. At the end of the day, write down one sentence you spoke that made you feel weak and one that made you feel strong. Reflect on why. You'll begin to see that your strongest moments weren't when you spoke perfectly, but when you spoke truthfully, without fear. That's the Stoic way. To speak from peace, not from the need to prove, not from the need to please, but from the steady confidence that you are enough. Still, there are common mistakes people make when they begin this path. Some think Stoicism means being silent or emotionless. But silence without understanding is not strength, it's suppression. Stoicism doesn't teach you to hold your feelings back, it teaches you to hold them with awareness, to feel them without letting them control your behavior. Some think strength means never being vulnerable, but that's not true either. The Stoics embraced vulnerability as part of being human, they simply refused to be ruled by it. Others fall into the trap of using strong words to sound powerful, speaking sharply, asserting dominance, or cutting others off to seem confident. But real confidence is not loud, it's composed, it's patient. It's found in calm sentences that carry truth without aggression. Stoicism is about balance, the middle ground between silence and reaction, between weakness and arrogance. It's about being so in tune with your own inner peace that your words no longer come from the need to be right, but from the desire to live rightly.
The next time you feel the urge to fill silence with words, take a breath instead. That breath is your anchor. In that moment of quiet, you reclaim your power. You realize you don't owe anyone constant explanations. You don't have to defend every choice. You don't have to prove your worth through speech. The person who is truly at peace has nothing to prove. Their calmness becomes their strength. Their restraint becomes their message. Now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Every time you speak with intention, you build trust within yourself. Every time you catch a weak word before it escapes your lips, you reclaim a piece of your inner strength. Every time you choose silence over reaction, your mind grows more disciplined. This is how you begin to live as the Stoics lived, not by memorizing philosophies, but by embodying them in your smallest choices. So here's your daily practice to begin this transformation. When you wake in the morning, sit quietly and breathe for a few moments before the world asks for your attention. Whisper to yourself, "My words will be calm, my mind will be clear, my heart will be steady." Carry that intention with you through the day, and each night, before sleep, reflect gently. Did my words bring peace to myself and others today?
If not, forgive yourself and begin again tomorrow. Every day is a new chance to grow stronger in presence, wiser in speech, and more grounded in peace. Because the real power of speech is not about influence, it's about alignment. When your words reflect your truth, your life becomes simpler. You begin to trust yourself more. You feel less need to explain or justify. You stop speaking from wounds and start speaking from wisdom. That's how language turns into a tool for healing instead of harm. And as this awareness deepens, you'll find that your relationships change too. People begin to feel safer around you, not because you say the perfect things, but because your energy feels calm and genuine. There's no pretense in your words, no hidden meaning, no tension, just truth spoken with gentleness. That's the language of strength. So let your words become a reflection of your peace. Let them carry the calm that Stoicism teaches, the calm that says, I don't need to control what I cannot, but I can always control how I express myself. Every conversation becomes a small act of mastery. Every silence becomes a moment of power. Every word you choose with intention becomes a quiet declaration. I am not ruled by impulse. I am guided by awareness. And when you live that way, weakness begins to dissolve. You no longer chase approval. You no longer defend your peace. You no longer waste your breath on noise. Instead, your speech becomes clean, your mind becomes light, and your soul becomes still. The final truth is simple. Words can either build your world or break it. The Stoic chooses to build, patiently, quietly, deliberately. Your tongue is the architect of your peace. Speak in a way that honors your strength, and your life will begin to reflect it. So as this day begins or ends, whichever moment you find yourself in right now, breathe deeply and affirm quietly, my words are calm, my thoughts are clear, my peace is mine to protect. This is the essence of Stoic strength, not in the silence of suppression, but in the wisdom of self-control. Carry that peace into your morning. Let it guide your words, your thoughts, and your choices. Because the moment your speech becomes calm, your world begins to follow. And that is where true power lives, not in what you say, but in the presence from which you say it.